the, I know, but there may be, you might want to Google that, toxic animals for goats.
His new favorite treat though, his new favorite, I mean, he likes garlic bread, don't get me wrong, but his favorite treat is raw lemon.
We tried the new restaurant.
What do you think of Little Beef?
Wow,
It's good, right?
really good.
Yeah, thank you. They're doing a good job.
Wow, yeah.
I'm excited about it.
Like, I can cut up some fruit.
And you know, the guy at Little B told me that he had restaurants down in Hope, where I was born,
Really?
years ago. Of course, that would have been before I knew what restaurants were, you know. But, I'm texting a friend down there to see, who remembers it. Remembers the restaurant. I didn't get to talk to him anymore, except to find out that. But
Wow.
really enjoyed that.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so excited. I think it's a big addition for us.
I'm sorry.
It's a big addition for us.
Absolutely, yeah. Pat was trying to get him to decide he would open up on Sunday afternoons, maybe.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I can't get it to eat lettuce or eat herbs either. He doesn't like lettuce, he doesn't like herbs. He loves.
My rabbits get all the lettuce I
He loves crunchy stuff.
Sticking my tongue out, just take my word for
Who
it.
called this meeting? Make it a prank.
Yeah.
No, you should gear.
What are we waiting for?
Howard.
Oh, Howard.
He's a key decision maker. You gotta have it.
That's right. He'll tell you too.
Oh, okay.
He'll tell you that.
Start the meeting and get eliminated up. But I'm not running.
Right.
I run too many meetings.
Yes, right.
I have a moratorium on that.
Well, I already had two that were in. Does that help? Does that count?
You had to, did
Already?
you run?
The run?
You can run the meeting.
Oh.
Read the meeting facility.
One I ran, one I sat in, I was a member of.
Just- I think I'm gonna have a meeting. Plan my meeting.
Yeah, I'm secretary.
I think that was an old Dilbert cartoon. That he was getting called away to go for a meeting to plan their upcoming meeting.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Do we-
Socially distant, right?
Do we have to wait for that professor
Sorry,
or
babe.
15 minutes?
No, I'm right there with you.
I'm too hot, man. Just beer. What's that? I'm socially distant.
Could we jack up the air conditioning any?
That's Stacy. I need a full beer. So good job on the little bees relationship. I talked to Brian, this week, last week.
Yeah, they're great folks.
Seems like a cool guy, yeah.
I like that.
I'll have to look at the right now and see if it's there.
I don't know, Jen really keeps it going down there at that marketplace, so I mean, that place is hard. So it
It won't be on here anyway.
Give her a little bit, like instead of.
You got the hose on outside for a drink. Sprinkler, I'll turn the sprinkler on for you.
But, how everybody else is getting 20%. We're only paying 10%.
This is how many golf balls Charles takes with him when he goes and plays around, you know?
Yeah, Janice is great.
When those oil companies have a tournament over there, I find that many.
Yeah,
No, I'm going over to Mount Rankin.
Tennis ball? We're talking golf ball.
I mean, golf ball, I don't know the difference. No, golf ball.
That's
You
how
know
I
the
keep
difference
score.
between a
Charles,
golf
that's
ball
how
and
I
a
keep
tennis
score. If I go through fewer sleeves of balls, I figure I'm getting better.
My mind knows the difference now.
All right, here we go.
Should we all stand up and sing, Heil Howard? Yeah.
Get a picture. You get a picture for the paper house.
We had quite a,
They had to hold a meeting up, Howard, you're a key decision maker.
we had a key diva in the last theater I was at, and she would come in late and everybody go, while we were waiting for you, she'd say, well, thank you so much, I really appreciate it.
You're understanding.
Yeah.
Let's stand for pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, thank you so much for all you do for us. Pray for your continued blessings on this city. Father, please bless every soul that lives here. Bless our city council and their families. Bless our mayor and all the people that work here for the city. Thank you so much, Father, for your son, Jesus, for the hope of salvation. It's in his name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Meeting at this time, take comments, residents, on anything related to open business on the agenda. Call the meeting to order. You have a copy. Previous minutes. I hear a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion six. Six minutes is printed. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next is treasurer's report. What was that? Sales tax still coming in good.
Greg, what's this contract work on that you had done $1,680? Sure, you probably something on good about it.
On the June or the July.
July.
Oh, that's summer help. That's his salary.
Oh, okay.
questions on treasurer's report? All ready to move on?
You bet.
Highway department, one of the businesses downtown on the east side of Main are having trouble with water coming in. So we met with the highway department, what was there, about 3 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And talked about the curb down the road, several places, and water leaking through. Rick had told me about another drain that he thought they covered up on the pave. So I got a metal detector. He told me about where it was, and sure enough, I went down there and found it. We dug it out, cleaned it out. It had lots of stuff. We cleaned it out and run water hose to it, made sure it didn't drain. We didn't have any rain to see if it's helping or not. But hopefully it helped some. Highway department back told them we got that fixed, and we're gonna talk to the road and bridge crew and see about when they get over here and repair all that wall down through there. They said their right away went to the back of the wall right there, the sidewalk starts. So they're gonna have to pretty much redo that whole side there. Fix it where it won't come over on the sidewalk. One day they were checking the creek. They started at the ridge and ran park, went all the way to the other end. They walked and had their nets, seeing what all was living in the creek. And I talked to them later, and they said they were pleased with the way the creek was healing itself going back. And they said there were several young trees growing up on the banks now. Probably on the ribbon. I really around so keep them growing, get vegetation back on the bank so it stays stabilized. Lift station number 2 down by the old jail, we're gonna have to have a total rebuild. And we were down there one day last week. If you drove through Old Town, you saw it looked like we were digging everything up down there. We had to expose the lines so that engineers come down there and get the elevation, get the lift, see how far it was, how much lift there was from there to the sewer plant. And the engineer said that without any, they hadn't got any figures yet, but without figures, he said roughly 90 to 100,000. And he sent some couple of options we had for loan money, low interest loan money. We're looking into grants too. We're not that far yet. They don't have it all figured out what it's actually going to cost. Right now, lift station number 2 pumps everything over to lift station number 1. Lift station number 1 pumps it right back beside it and then pumps it on up to the sewer plant. So hopefully this rebuild, we can just tie right into the line right there. At Rand Park Road, just pump it straight up the hill instead of having to pump over there and pump back. And lift station number 2 supplies everything west of the lift station, except for McVeigh Street and west of Churchill. It services everything, the businesses and all the residents west of the lift station. So we get any other information between meetings, and I think we need to have a special meeting, and I'll call it a special meeting. It needs to be done sooner than later. They gave us a quote 10 years ago to do it. 10 years ago, it was 80,000. he's saying 90 to 100, so it wasn't as bad as I figured for 10 years worth.
How's the anticipating from them?
No, they was, what that, what, 90, early 90s. Lift station, this lift station, Link says a lot. Things go down, the guy can't get it to work, then it's all him, gets on. He's been on it so long, he knows all the tricks. But he said one of these days he'll come over and it won't work. There will be, so. As soon as we get any more information, we'll let you know.
Love it, look. I know you're saying he's go over here a lot of times, and done a lot of babysitting with it, fixing it, but is there anybody else on this, get another quote from, just to make sure we're staying in the,
Yeah, well, it has to go out for bid.
okay, all right.
Anything over 20,000, has to go for bid, so we'll go for bid.
Greg, who are the engineers that we actually
Chris.
looked at?
Chris Engineering out of Little Rock to City Union.
We pay them to do that.
And they had their surveyors up here last week, they did the elevation and lift and all that. We had several breaks, hot dry weather. We had a 6-inch main blow pretty late on Saturday. We went down there and dug it up, patched it, and it was sinking just a little, so we left the ditch uncovered, so I saw the backhoe sitting there on Highway 56 to it and expanded that rubber, and then we were able to tighten it down some more. It closed it up. And I think Wednesday, they got scheduled to redo the water line there on Langston Street. Been having a lot of rain from it. We decided just to do away with that line and just put a new line in. We had to be in there every time. Break here and then just go right over just a few feet and break. We just decided to put a new line, take care of it. Parks, we've been keeping those up. We've been doing really good for the manpower we've had, so trying to keep those looking good. I think they're going to use them this month for rag balls, having the inmates, having the inmates fix the infield, they were just all grand, so we had. We've been doing some street patching, we got quite a bit more to do, but we started on that. Mowing's gonna slow down, so maybe we can get some more of that kind of stuff done. We don't get some rain, it's gonna completely stop. Sheriff Department,
Back in May, we were down to 48 calls of service for the city. Last month, we picked back up to 77. Kind of went up, and that was countywide that done that. This month, we're back down to 54, and it's a trend also across. So this is kind of following the peaking trends of COVID. I guess people are staying in when it's high, so our calls of service is going down. Overall, things are going well. We're trying to watch the jail real close, make sure we don't have any sick in there. So far, knock on wood, we haven't.
Wow.
And we haven't actually had any positive cases in the sheriff's office. The sheriff's wife tested positive, so they got him quarantined. But he's had 2 negative tests. They released her off quarantine, but they haven't him. You guys got any questions, concerns, or anything for us? Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.
fire department.
Fire department for last month is, very, like the sheriff is kind of slow, which is good for us. Gives us time to get in and do things around the fire department. We did do some more maintenance on a couple of trucks. We do have one old 1982 Erickson It's probably the oldest pumper we have that, has got some battery issues right now. They're 2013 batteries, and they're the big 12-volt batteries, and just having problems keeping them. That is a truck that will have to be replaced in the next couple of years. The fire states do not want open cab trucks on the back, behind the driver and the passenger. So looking at a couple of grants right now for next year for those. They haven't told us that we have to replace it. There's still lots of fire departments that have them. But if we get another truck like that, it must be an enclosed, and that's why a lot of these places a lot of them are going to the enclosed cabs, just for safety. As far as that, we don't use that truck. It's a third out truck. I mean, it would have to be a pretty good sized fire. I believe nothing about Main Street, but that would probably be the place we'd have to use it for the power that it has and hook into it. But other than that, everything else is running good. We're still having one issue with our old tanker with the alternator on it. Mr. Baker up at Baker Trucking is trying to get that solved. We have 2 full tankers going, 2 full pumpers going. Our rescue is in good shape. Boat's still in good shape. We took it out again to make sure it was okay. When they called me, he said, hey, I can sell you a refurbished one with the same warranty as all. And we looked at that, and we went to the hospital and looked at what they had versus what Vitalink uses. So we changed and went from the old Physio Control that we use in our department. We went to Zoll. May not mean anything to you, but it's compatible to the hospital. It's compatible to the ambulance service. So in the long run, it'll save us money, a $75 set of pads. If they have to put them on someone, we can just get a new set of pads from either place, and the pads will stay on the patient all through out the hospital and transport out. So even with the with one of the helicopters, they're using the same things. Just kind of got online. We went ahead and bought 2 of them. He made us a good deal on with the 2-year warranty with the cases, batteries, and all for $1,890 for 2, and that was shipped to us. So we spent $890 out of our budget to get those. We'll have a class next Monday night, it'll be our meeting night, and we'll go over those. They're basically similar to the same thing, you know, that we have, and they know how to use them, but they need to get them out. Also, the same thing, they're the same as the school has. So we're kind of got all the same thing there. Other than that, we got a new member this last meeting. The member, he's excited to be on the department. It's Donnie Lingley down at the motel. Donnie has a boat, and we've used his boat a couple of times, and he's been wanting to get on the fire department and come in and join us last week, and be a big asset, especially with the river. But he's usually at that motel, pretty much every day. So if the call comes in, we basically just went to him and jumped in a boat and take off. So I do call the guys and tell them, let them, if something happens, to let me know, especially with all this going on, where we can make sure that nobody else was. Because when we work, we get real close to each other. And so other than that, we're all good. Anything y'all got?
Well, you're gonna have to buy batteries for the truck, or you?
Yes, buy batteries. Washington is looking at some that have been rebuilt that will be probably about half the price. Like I said, it's, if it was used more, it'd probably be better, but these are 2013 batteries. So I think they serve their purpose in those. So we will probably have to change those. I'm thinking that he said they were about 400 a piece, and it takes 2. So if we can get some good refurbished ones in from his supplier, then it'll be just as good.
There is a July report in the packet. But the month of July, this is ending June. The month of July was really busy. We had a lot of visitors to the visitor center. I know that Miss Gloria is working on getting Main Street, Calico Rock, so that everyone, and still been helping out with grants and keeping people informed on things that they can apply for during the pandemic. Miss Janice has been doing a lot of decorating for the marketplace. It's booming. She does the windows and brings people in. Lots of visitors there. All in all, I can see that if I didn't know that there was a pandemic, I wouldn't know that there was a pandemic with the traffic. That's the traffic. We still have visitors from all over the state and all over the country come to visit us. So we do everything we can. We sanitize the doors frequently. We do have dressing rooms that get sanitized frequently. We have shields over all the stations. Everybody has to wear a mask that comes in any of the community buildings. And there haven't been any problems. People are very happy to put the mask on and wear it while they're in there. No problems with that. Anybody have any other questions? All right. Thank y'all for your support too.
The unfinished business. New business, Leon, you have something to bring up?
Yeah, I wanted to bring up on Highland Street. Highland Street runs off of 56 all the way up to the apartments. 4 families with kids, 4 of them being my grandkids. 3 of them been playing in the street, riding their bicycles, and they're running, trying to keep everybody slowed down. I would like to see a couple of speed bumps put up on the street. I think it's a street that would really, benefit from it. I watch them every day when they come through. I know who they are. I've talked to a few of them, and they're like, okay, and the next time they come, they're wide open again. Several people that I've talked to say, yeah, you up, we'll come with backup. But the thing is, the kids start as soon as you turn on that street. And then as you go up every other street, as kids play in that street, and then you got people that are walking down the street from the apartments. A lot of people don't have transportation up there. There's no sidewalk, so they can't get off on the sidewalk, so we've got to do something to slow them down. And I'm talking as a resident, if we can put them down here.
What's the speed limit posted?
30, if you
I have
remember,
to look on.
yeah, I think it was 35.
Leon, that was my bus route last year. The most kids I have would be 11. Because they didn't always go, but anywhere from 7 to 8 every day.
Yes.
On bus. As high as 11, so.
These are kids, they're kids that play outside. My daughter is trying to watch them. She's sitting outside with them when they're playing, but, if you see a car coming, they get out of the street, that may happen, she may have to grab one of them, but it may be that time that somebody doesn't look. And, I've got 495 foot of frontage there on the 56 going up off the Highland. And I've had for 25 years, I know how to drive on the street. I just think we could do something to try to slow them down, other than posting a police officer up there with a radar gun trying to. That's it.
Right.
They probably won't slow
I
them
don't
down.
think the speed limit's gonna slow them down.
That is, seems like too fast, 35 for that street.
Yeah.
They don't solve that problem. It needs to be slower than that.
Where would you ask for it?
I'm not really sure. I think they need to be kind of scattered out through there. I've got a fence that's almost 200 feet, and they can't get, they couldn't get off the road there. They would have to go into Kevin Bishop's mother-in-law's house, where Chris is staying. They would have to go off into that yard. Basically, they'd have to go off into someone's yard if they try to go around them, like, up on First Street like they did. They just have to kind of be scattered. We have to scatter them in different places. Some grown up brush, places like that where they don't have an area that they can zoom around them. That's the thing to do, they just zoom around.
So you're talking two, maybe
I would say three.
three, how y'all feel about that?
Good.
Yeah, when there's a deputy over there, they're gonna act right till he leaves and then they go right back to business.
That's it.
No, I heard what we did last time. And all the parking lots, there's some in there parked.
Yeah, so there are,
But for the people that live down there, there's 10 houses, or whatever.
Out of those 11 students,
That's
out
that.
of those 11 students I had last year, 6 of them came from apartments.
Right. Not that, there won't. Not good to know.
So he said he had people coming back up, or what you're talking about, you're saying.
Right.
Surveillance, so.
So you're talking about the safety of
Yeah,
kids,
that's surveillance. You have people cars that come back up.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff on the street.
we want to table it till next month if that was what
No.
it needs. Okay, we've already.
you need a motion. Do you need a motion to do that?
Have a motion, second. You second it?
Need to state your motion, however,
Pardon?
state your motion.
Put three speed bumps up, Island Street. But at the discretion of the mayor, Leon May or somebody as to where they go.
Have a motion and second, is there any more discussion? Roll call vote.
Jackie,
Yes.
Charles,
Yes.
Mitch,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Stephen.
No.
Howard,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Jim.
Motion carried, get on that quickly. Next, we have.
Great. Can we back up, are we gonna lower the speed limit?
I'll look and see. What we got. Not, I'll have to, I'll get one, 29, 20, 25. Most of them are 25.
Yeah, that way they might be enforced, be hard to enforce their,
25, I think.
Sorry.
Next, we have Norfolk Brewing Company, Jason and Mitch.
Hi, folks. Mayor, how would you like us to proceed to kind of lay out Brenda and Dan's idea?
Preferably with samples.
You know, I was asked what was in this bottle earlier.
I ain't worried about that bottle, I need one.
I hear you. I hear you.
Bill's sure to be real good about that.
Well, thank you. Thank you for saying that. We're proud of our Pilsner. So,
You can explain what their intentions are, or what y'all's intentions are.
well, let me introduce myself first. I'm Jason Ahmet, and I own Norfolk Brewing Company. And this is Mitch Krause. Mitch is our general manager, and my dear friend from college who's decided that coming out here to brew some beer would be kind of a fun adventure. Brenda Wolf and Dan Wiltshire had contacted us some time ago. When was that?
October, yeah.
Yeah.
Right
I'd
around
say-
when I just got, I just got here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, hey, they own a really neat spot. I think it's right where you were talking about kind of cleaning out that sewer area, right? Or storm sewer, right there on Main Street. And this really neat old building that they want to become kind of an entertainment center, almost like in a speakeasy theme, for the city. They think that having something like this will increase tourism, and it'll really promote kind of the already existing historic feeling and charm that Calico Rock has really generated so well in its downtown area. I mean, the little downtown strip is really neat. So the idea of a family place, I don't know if any of you have been up to our brewery in Norfolk, but you're more likely to trip over a dog and a toddler on your way in than pretty much anything else. Isn't that their case?
Absolutely.
We typically have families who come and they, sit together, watch some TV. We're very careful about safety of the community and the folks that come to our meeting process in terms of making sure that they can evaluate if someone's coming to the tap room in an impaired state and ensuring that no one is served if they become impaired, and that no one is able to drive if they become impaired. We're very, very careful about that. And we're proud, knock out some wood around here, in 2 years, we've had exactly zero incidents in the Norfolk Brewing Company. So we thought about Brenda's idea and Dan's idea, and it's a really neat space, right? And it's kind of perfect for it. You're right down from the museum, you've got the fishermen nearby, there's a restaurant across the way. I really think that folks would kind of enjoy it. It would be an interesting space for the community. We have a lot of folks that will rent our tap room, birthday parties or the like, and it's turned out to be a nice addition to our community in Norfolk. So when Brenda and Dan brought the idea to us, we thought, well, that'd be neat. We'd love to work with you. Only thing is, it's not legal in Calico Rock to do it. So, being legal is probably a good idea. And that's kind of why we're here. Now, we don't want the city council to create a full bar. That's not our plan. Arkansas has created a really unique thing in the law called the Native Brewers Permit. And our little brewery qualifies as a native brewer. And that is, we were founded in Arkansas, we're an Arkansas corporation, we employ folks here, and we're small enough, less than 30,000 barrels a year, that we qualify for that designation. Well, that permit comes with some really cool features. One of those features is that we can allow another entity to utilize our permit to sell our beer. So for instance, I don't know if you've had the good fortune to go up to Norfolk yet to Little Bees. The new little restaurant that's gone in at the turn. By the way, the fellow who's put that in, he Restaurant Association. So it looks tiny and it looks little, but it's like a frog. The frog doesn't know it's little and tiny and green. It sees the whole world as its oyster. Right? And so the Little Bees restaurant is kind of like that. It's this neat spot with great food. And we're doing the same thing with them so that they have the ability to sell us some beer, but it's local beer. It's stuff that's produced here. And we take a great deal of pride in our local concoctions. We use local ingredients, so local yeast that we've manufactured that makes our Pilsner beer that you like so much. It actually comes from the banks of the Norfolk River.
And no preservatives.
No preservatives, that's right. It's all completely natural. And most of our ingredients are actually organic. So the idea that we had with Brenda and Dan was, well, why don't we do this native permit? Right? It's not a bar, it's a tap room, so it's intended to be kind of educational and fun. And it's family oriented. And you can utilize our permit to do that, the Norfolk Brewing Company permit, which means that we would then be involved in the management of that tap room and ensuring that it meets our standards for safety for the community, and, you know, complying with not just state law, but really taking a step beyond that. And they really like that. So their idea is to kind of have operations 3 or 4 days a week. And I know they would be here, but as you know, Brenda and Dan live out of town, so we're here kind of presenting this for them. They might like to open on a weekend at noon, kind of like we do up in Norfolk. But, you know, in any case, closing down by 9 or so each evening, so it's not a late night adventure. There would be on-premises sales, so small tap room, and then at the same time, off-premises six-pack sales. So we're very proud to be the first and only brewery in Baxter County, and there's 3 now that is packaging six-packs. So you can find this in your local favorite store. There'd be some outdoor seating in the back that would be roped off, and some seating on the side deck up above. There would be some things like we have to have a food truck come on a regular basis to kind of increase the downtown food options that are available. And that's worked out for us really well. So that's really it. I think she's kind of hoping, Brenda's really spearheading this. She's really hoping to create a space for the community. I know a lot of folks from Calico Rock and Melbourne come up to Norfolk and enjoy coming up to Norfolk. And I think that folks might enjoy instead having an option like this in Calico. I would guess that there's some concern about a bar, right? Having a bar in town.
Said they could buy a six-pack, can they buy a drink in there and go out on the street with it?
No.
Or do they have to stay inside?
Have to stay inside. Yeah, you couldn't leave the building with an open container. But you could take one home if you wanted to. It's all enclosed in a can before, like you get it somewhere else. But this, I think, is a really neat option for the city because it puts you in a position of being able to say, look, we were looking to increase kind of the tourism and the attraction downtown, but it allows you to avoid the full bar scene. So you can say, look, we're not permitting bars here. This is a local product. It's a local tap room. It's a local concept. It's entirely a native brewing concept. Maybe if another native brewer came along and wanted to do something similar, that could be something you would consider at that point, but it would really kind of eliminate a big discussion over bars and that kind of thing in the future. And so we thought, we're thinking that makes sense. That makes sense for the town. And we're wondering what you guys think.
Jay, could I just interject?
Yeah.
I would be glad to show anyone who's interested the space.
Sure.
Because I'm there, not every day, but anybody who would like to see the space, it's really quite lovely.
It's a neat
Quite
spot.
amazing.
Yeah.
What they've done to it.
Yeah, and they made a big investment in the town.
Absolutely.
So
You're not the owner of the building.
no,
What is their intent for occupancy of that building? I mean, the rumor mill is usually a small town.
right.
Total occupancy, what are they intending to try to do?
The total number of people who would be permitted in?
No. I had heard that they were gonna do a kids arcade in the lower level, is that correct?
No, the entire thing would be the tap room. So this is their plan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a single occupancy, the only thing they're gonna do there.
That's my understanding.
Right. Nobody will live in it.
There'd be no one living in it. There wouldn't be an arcade.
Can y'all tell me how much tax revenue you generate for Norfolk? I mean, like
Sure.
an increase in tax revenue?
We generate for the city of Norfolk over $1,000 a month. Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Other way. In fact, most of the customers we like the best are the pets.
How many samples do the council members get?
All samples are free.
Depends on how you vote, Howard.
All samples are free. That's another kind of aspect of the tap room. The idea is it's educational, right? So you come in, oh, look, this is how beer is made. This is the craft. This is where it's from. This is what it's all about. Look at the different styles. Get a little taste of something. It's not about drinking.
You ought to stop in if you just want to know for sure, because the same thing is talking about they do there, and I've been in there. I never liked dark beer, but they have two that I like. So,
Thank you.
so Pilsner's my.
And you're changing yours a lot too.
Pilsner, that's my favorite. But, one of those, I'm good. A sandwich on one of those, I'm good.
And we use local products, like for instance, this week we'll be harvesting elderberries along the river. If anybody wants to volunteer, you're welcome to join us. Take the boat out, and our goal is to collect about 150 gallons of elderberry. And then we're gonna, wild elderberries, and we're gonna boil them down, and they get added to the Pilsner, and so we make the elderberry beer, which is,
I'm curious about that.
it's really hard to keep it in the tap room, right? I mean, it just goes. Yeah. So, that's right. It cures the common cold, and it makes you just a little bit happier.
Yeah.
What exactly are you needing?
Permission. So, and probably a resolution saying that the sale of alcohol in this building for this purpose, as laid out, so a tap room owned by Brenda and Dan, but operated by Norfolk Brewing Company, is permitted to operate. Limited hours, 3 to 4 days a week. And for the sale of beer pursuant to the native beer permit. Which, by the way, you could also permit the sale of Arkansas wine.
That's what I was.
Right.
gonna-
So you could also see them, and I don't know what they want to do, they could potentially sell some Arkansas wine. And we're actually thinking about making, it's gonna be years down the road before we can get there, but we're thinking about making some elderberry wine this year. So if you want to come up and see how badly we make wine, check us out.
Cider.
We do make a really killer cider. We use apples, or we get all of our crushed apples, the apple juice from a little cidery that's up in Missouri. It's the closest one.
I thought you had a cider that was called the Calico Rock cider, didn't you?
Is actually, that's our cider. It's named after the town. It's the Calico Rock Hard Cider. The folks that run the Jordan County line had asked us to make a cider for them, and we asked them what they wanted to name it, and they so much like Calico Rock that they asked it to be named Calico Rock Hard Cider. So.
If you could get the information that needs to be in the resolution, that can be prepared for the council to take up at the next meeting.
Okay.
Let me qualify this. At any given moment in time, there's 2 to 3 cases of Bud Light in my home. So I'm not an anti-drinker. I, for one, wouldn't vote on this without hearing directly from the owners of the building what their intent is, not from an occupant. Because I have some concerns about that.
So you think you had language in the red?
I don't know the dates, but they are planning to come in September.
There you go.
Are you gonna have food there, or sandwiches and stuff, or?
Yeah, and a food truck. So the food options will vary depending on the week. Might be some music, 1 or 2 nights a week. Some musical entertainment. We do that in Norfolk. Might get Mitch to play.
Yeah.
He's got a high price tag.
Not this Mitch. I didn't know you played. I don't.
He does.
I play the radio.
He plays like
And Jay, by the way, the people next door, Kay and Ed, they have no problem.
Great.
Yeah.
You need a motion.
They're very, very good.
you can find out exactly in September when they'll be here, we can schedule the meeting for that time.
Okay,
So all, you know, they wanted to be here, they couldn't, so they asked us to kind of be in their stead, but I'll give them a summary of what we discussed tonight and what the next actions are. So if one of those actions is that you guys would like them to be here.
Have a Zoom meeting Thursday,
I think so,
Yeah.
13th?
13th, so, yeah, we can discuss those things.
Okay.
And where is this, Rick, is that the building next to you?
Yes. Brandon, I've been watching.
It's Frankie's Closet.
Right
The
next to
bottom one or the top one?
it's both levels, where you're gonna run part of it, in the lower level, you have part of your machinery and all. Or your equipment or whatever.
No,
I spent a ton of money on
It is the lower level.
We're not gonna make any beer there.
Right,
But my understanding is the tap room would be both the upper and the lower
okay,
level.
okay.
Back room upstairs and all.
I know the lower level is just, I mean, they really spent a ton of money.
They really have, haven't
Yeah.
they?
It's unreal, unreal.
Yeah.
It went from the worst building on Main Street to the nicest.
If you wanna- If you want to see before and after
Yeah, I mean,
pictures,
you wouldn't believe it, I saw it daily and I don't know what they spent, they spent a ton of money. I can't believe it.
You know, the other side of the equation is that I think Brenda and Dan really are to be commended for doing it this way. They could have essentially opened up a private club and just kind of done it on their own and that kind of thing. I think they want to be part of the community, engage the community kind of fully in what they're doing and make sure that there's kind of an openness and an acceptance to what they're doing. It's a big investment that they're making. I think it's going to be valuable to the city overall and a fun place. So, I mean, I think they're really coming at it, from my perspective, they're coming at it the right way.
They are, according to state law, they don't even have to come and get. That's a big deal.
what was that, Greg? Sorry.
By law, they don't actually have to come and get permission from us.
The city would just have the opportunity to object to the
Uh-huh.
hearings on the permit.
I see, okay.
But this is a much better way to, we all kind of get along and work together.
Well, they came to looking for a building just before Thanksgiving. And I took them immediately to Mr. Dale Hudson, who owned it. And within about 2 hours after they'd looked at the building, they decided on it.
They bought
So
it.
they saw the potential, and they saw the potential for Calico Rock.
And I don't know how much you guys know about them, but she's a nurse, very accomplished, runs a big program up in Chicago. They're retiring down here. So they're going to bring a really nice professional, nice professional family to town. And this is essentially, as I understand it, this is their venue for, essentially their way to afford to be able to do that.
They have a house in Northwood.
Any more discussion? So, yeah, is there any announcements? Council have anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Jackie, you just said.
I'm most kind of aggressive, Father wants him to come to you, Lord, just ask you to remove any transgressions and iniquities, anything that separate us, draw nigh to you, Lord. Thank you for protecting our citizens, our town. Lord, county, Lord, we ask you to look over our leaders, not just here, but our country, because we know that they need your influence, Lord. Watch over our children, protect them because they have been targeted for too long, Lord. Just continue to wrap us with your love and your tender mercies. Lord, forgive us where we fell short. For these things we ask in Christ's most precious name. Amen.
Good job.
Does that work?
Go, man. You got COVID, he just
got the check.